Any other time you'd be able to get this would be at an auction. Signed products, Royals, Mizzou, KU, K-State, Nebraska, Current, Sporting, plenty of others as well. And they've got the mystery bags, which are so cool. You never know what's going to be in there because it's, a mystery with mini helmets and jerseys, baseballs. And they also have now this year the college mystery bags with MUKU and K-State. So first year they're doing the college mystery bags, which is really pretty cool. That is here at ADA. It is right across from Park Hill South High School, 635 and 9 Highway. And looking around, one of the things I like to do is when I get here, look around and see all of the different stuff they have this year from years past. And this is the first time I've seen all of the Salvi used catching equipment. It's unbelievable. Salvi game-used chest protectors, Salvi game-used July 4th chest protector, July 4th shin guards, the mask that Salvi uses, game-used, autographed here. They've got right on the wall right now, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different game-used Salvi bats here that they didn't have this go around last year. They've got an awesome display with Bobby Witt and Michael Garcia, a double baseball case with gold gloves holding the baseballs that are signed by Bobby and Michael Garcia. That's pretty awesome as well that they didn't have last year. You know why? Because they didn't have double gold glove winners on the left side of the infield last year. But it's got all the other stuff that you can expect. Chiefs signed jerseys and helmets and the Lombardi Trophy and Super Bowl stuff and memorabilia and cleats and baseballs and bats and footballs and pictures and jerseys and everything else that you can dream of that is here at ADA. And coming up tonight at 7 o'clock, an opportunity for you to meet Noah Cameron, St. Joe's own hometown hero, Noah Cameron. Tonight at 7 o'clock, he'll be doing a meet and greet. He will be signing some autographs for you, and that comes up at 7 o'clock tonight. And then on Saturday, Ellie Wheeler from the Current will be here at 1 o'clock, meet and greet, signing autographs, things like that. So it is a great place to be. If you have the gifts that you need to get done, if you're Christmas shopping, which you should be doing or be done with, or if you're just starting, you come here to ADA, and any sports fan in your life, you will find something for them here that you can get them for Christmas. And, you can go to local, auctions and things like that. You might find, charity auctions, you might find some of this stuff that you can bid on. But you don't have to keep going back and putting in another price and putting in another price and putting in another price, and you're probably going to get it for much more than what you're going to pay for it right here, and ADA opening up their doors. They're also doing a drawing for 10 signed items that they will be giving away. And here's how you enter the drawing. You simply show up with a non-perishable food or clothing or personal hygiene item, and you get an entry into the drawing. You can also donate money to enter into the drawing, but donating that non-perishable food, clothing, or personal hygiene item gets you into the drawing. 10 different winners that they will select here at ADA, and just a great place to be. It's, honestly, it's like it's a playground. It's a playground for sports memorabilia, for sports fans. It is a really cool spot that we are at here. But it's not fair really, because we're right in front of the Salvi catching equipment. And let me tell you, if you've got a kid in your life or somebody that caught, I don't know, do I do the rest of the show in the Salvi catcher's mask? Like with the mask. Like I want to do the show wearing the Salvi game-used mask.
I'll allow it.
Sterling says he will allow it. Can somebody turn Sterling's mic on? That's an inside joke. But Sterling will allow that. Here. The George Brett Silver Slugger picture in front of me. They've got signed Sack Nations with Chris Jones and George Karlaftis. And I'll tell you what I've got my eye on, Sterling. Can somebody turn his mic on?
Me.
I'll tell you what I've got is, no, I don't have my eye on you. Not anymore. I have my eye on something that wasn't here last year. And that is in that room, the other room. So right when you walk in, the main room's got a bunch of different things. See, back here, there's a lot of high-ticket items. Really awesome. Back here, I think, has centerpiece items. That makes sense. Like centerpiece of you get a Salvi game-used bat or a Bobby Witt bat or a George Brett bat or a Bo Jackson bat. Like those are centerpiece items. You get an MJ Melendez bat over here, game-used. It's clean. I actually don't know if it's game used. I have no idea. It may be game used. It may just be a bat that he signed that was one of the bats that were made for him. I'm not sure, okay? That's for somebody else to decide. But when you walk in, and I don't want to give this away because I'm not giving it away, but I don't want other people to come in and buy all of them up. Hosmer's Mad Dash. There's Hosmer sliding into home, the background of Mets fans and their faces, and Hosmer's autograph on that picture of Hosmer's Mad Dash. That I walked in and saw, like, yeah, I want that. That's something that I'm probably going to be leaving with, and here's my credit card, and just take my money. You're coming home with me. You're going to live with me now, chunk. Okay. That's what I felt like. You're going to live with me now, Hosmer's Mad Dash autographed. Okay. It's a Goonies reference, Sterling.
Yeah.
Somebody turn his mic on. So we're hanging out here at ADA, where you can come the next 4 days, well, yesterday, today, tomorrow, and then Saturday, where you can bring a non-perishable food item, clothing item, personal hygiene item, and you get an entry into the drawing. All these signed baseballs and everything. It is an awesome, awesome place to be, one of our favorite remotes. I do want to talk some football today. We'll get into that. We'll talk about some of the criticisms that are out there of Andy Reid, certainly on this show, but others as well. And I think there was one that made the rounds heavy last night that I want to talk about a little bit. The winter meetings going on, final day of winter meetings going on today, where Buster Only is at, and this morning on with the Border Patrol. Excuse me. All right, got to pay $1. All right, now there's another $1 out of the wallet. Sorry, honey. Sorry, kids. There goes Christmas. A new day with SSJ. This morning, Buster Only on there talking about a potential trade that at least could be on the horizon, something that I hadn't thought of with a player that I want to get into and talk about as well. The craziness going on in Michigan, yet another prime program opening job in college football. This has been the craziest year of openings in college football with Penn State and Florida and LSU and now Michigan and UCLA. And, I mean, come on, Mick Schaefer, Oklahoma State. I mean, Oklahoma State is an opening with a job. It's just Auburn, so many different jobs that are open, that are now closed, but that the coaching carousel had taken place, and now Michigan is looking for another head coach. Much more of a different scenario than what these others are dealing with as well. And also some of the reports from what's going on with other colleges and what Notre Dame is doing and how that's being received by some of these conferences. We'll get into that as well. 913-912-4810 is the text line to join us. 913-912-4810 text line. Coming up at 11 o'clock, we will hang out with Kent Swanson, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. We've got the Chiefs press conferences at 11:45. Dave Tobe, Steve Spagnuolo, Matt Nagy, Chris Jones, Sports or Leisure at 1 o'clock. And the Chiefs with a must-win coming up on Sunday, which we will continue to talk about and break down. And really, like I do want to get into it. We'll get into a conversation here this hour. This line has gone from 3.5 to 4.5 to now 5.5. So how is this a situation where the Chiefs have all of this money coming in on them to win, that Vegas not only win but cover, that Vegas has moved that line from 3.5 to 5.5? Like, we're talking about a team that is 1-5 in their last 6 games, and even in that one win, it was a 3-point win. They have yet to cover in those 5 games, while they've been favored by 3.5 and favored by 3.5 and favored by 3.5 and favored by 3.5. Even if they were to win on Sunday, do we think they're going to win by 6 or 7 points against the Chargers? It's really odd. It creates even more value, it seems like, for the Chargers, and it's one of those Vegas lines that it seems like they're begging you to bet the Chargers. But does that mean I'm going to bet the Chiefs because it seems like they're begging you to bet the Chargers? Like, oh, don't do that. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe again. No, you're not going to do that.
Jason,
What's that?
Fall for the banana.
Would somebody turn his mic on? So we'll get into why and what we think, or, try to come up with theories as to this line moving 2 points in the Chiefs' favor when we can, their backs are against the wall. You mean like last week? Or Thanksgiving? Or the Colts? or Denver, not necessarily Buffalo, but we've been down this road before. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. I want to talk a little winter meetings. We will discuss what we heard from Buster Olney this morning. There's a name that was brought up that is really intriguing, and a name that I would be willing to move on from an ace pitcher for. We'll talk about that on the other side of the break. More Zone next. Well, you know, we're in Missouri right now, and Missouri, your moment, it's finally here because DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, it's live in your state. You know, I can place a bet right now. I couldn't do that last year. Last year, we were at this remote here at 88, couldn't place a bet. Now I can do that here in Missouri. Finally here, DraftKings Sportsbook. Now you can make every game even more exciting with same-game parlays, money lines, props, and more, all from your phone, all safe, secure, easy to use. Missouri fans, you know game day, the tailgates, the noise, the passion. And now with DraftKings Sportsbook, you can bring that same energy to every snap, every touchdown, every win. And right now, new Missouri customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. No waiting, no nonsense, just pure action powered by America's top-rated sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 810WHB. New Missouri customers bet $5, get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code 810WHB. The crown is yours in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
All right, we'll continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you. Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy coming up at 11 o'clock. Kent Swanson, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. We will talk with him, get his thoughts on this Chiefs team getting ready for a playoff game on Sunday. You know, we didn't think they'd make the playoffs. And here they are playing in a playoff game on Sunday. Take that, haters.
I bet they still play in January.
You know, I think you're wrong. There's no way this team's going to play in January. You think this team is going to be able to play in January? You're crazy, man. You're crazy, dude.
I'm glad that at least you can hear me on a mic now, because
Thank God somebody turned his mic on. I mean, it's about time. I've been asking for somebody to turn your mic on this whole time.
I think the reason why was because folks were scared that I was going to talk about how I got first in laser tag last night, and then I set the record on Papa Shot last night.
You set the record on Papa Shot?
I did. Alex can by 8.
Did they reset that particular Papa Shot right before you went? And
No, they're all connected on the same one, so it says highest score for all of them, and I set it by 8.
It's like pluribus.
Let it be known.
All connected there.
Let it be known.
Okay. What was
That's
the
why
number?
it was 75. I got 83.
Nice. Good for
83.
you, dude. Good for you, man.
Alex can confirm she witnessed history.
Well done.
They're
you,
putting up.
You a backboard guy?
No, swish only.
Wow, swish only 83. That is kind of impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. If only you could do that on a real basketball
It'd be
court.
great.
Yeah, it'd be really cool.
It'd be a lot different. I'm
Yeah.
a volume shooter. Okay, I am a volume shooter.
Sterling's favorite play is the give and go. Give it to me, go away.
Yes.
I got this. All right, I'll take it from here.
I have never seen a shot I do not like.
That's right. Never seen a pass that you do like.
Fact.
Yes, or a teammate that you liked. Present company included. It is the zone. We're hanging out here at ADA. It is right across from Park Hill South High School on 635 and 9 Highway. And this is, we talked about some of the newer things that are here, which are pretty awesome. You know, if it wasn't for some of the things going on currently, I would attempt to do the show with Salvi's game used mask. I just don't want to tempt fate.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
no.
I don't want to do that. That's pretty awesome. You should do it in like the full chest protector and the shin guards. The show.
Oh, I'll do it.
Yeah, that would be cooler.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
That would be cooler, actually, to do that, because then it would be much easier to put on especially the July 4th game-used chest protector and shin guards for Salvi. Good God, man.
I'll devalue it real quick.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Yeah.
Sterling Holmes signed Salvador Perez.
That's right.
It'd be Salvador Perez signed Sterling Warren.
Yeah, that's
chest
right.
protector.
It doesn't have to be game worn. It's just
Sterling
worn.
worn.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got some crazy, awesome stuff here, and I've already talked about what I want to walk home with. Well, I'll drive home, but leave here, walk to my car with that Eric Hosmer Mad Dash signed picture, which is pretty awesome. But the dual Gold Glove baseball case, that's pretty awesome. I've never seen that before. I've never even seen the one Gold Glove baseball case, but that's really cool. Sterling Holmes, Jason Anderson, Michael Darcy, again, Kent Swanson coming up at 11 o'clock. Buster Olney this morning on A New Day had brought up a name that I hadn't thought about as a possibility for the Royals. We've been hearing so much about outfielders, right? Left fielders, Jaron Duran and Brendan Donovan and names like that it might take Noah Cameron or somebody like that or Chris Bubich. But as J.J. Piccolo said, they're going to be looking to move some people. Cole Reagans is not one of them. Okay, so he essentially said Cole Reagans is off limits. But then this morning, Buster Olney brings up and says, last year the Diamondbacks were not willing to take calls on Ketel Marte. But the phone lines are open now. And the Diamondbacks are taking calls on Ketel Marte. And what they want is a major league pitcher, obviously, because they want to go for it this year, and they want somebody that can help immediately and can help immediately. And Steven had the follow-up of, so would that be Cole Reagans? And Buster said, yes, that would be the name you'd be looking at if the Royals, which is a team that is interested, Buster only saying teams are interested, Royals are one of the teams that are interested, you will not get Ketel Marte for Noah Cameron or Chris Bubich. It will be Cole Reagans. And if J.J. Piccolo is saying, well, yeah, we're going to move some pieces for maybe an outfield bat, it's just not going to be Cole Reagans until Ketel Marte becomes available. And that's a little bit of a different story. I'm not touching Cole Reagans to get a Jaron Duran or a Brendan Donovan. But if one of the best offensive second basemen in the league who's a 900 OPS guy,
I'll say the
Silver
best.
Slugger, yes, is available, and you can put a guy 900 plus OPS in front of Bobby Witt at the leadoff spot, then is it worth moving Cole Reagans? Now, Marte is going to be much more expensive than Cole Reagans. He's under contract till, 2030?
2030 with a player option, which I would assume he would, at that point,
Yeah.
for
Well, it's
$11.5
$11.5 million. He may turn it down.
He's
Because
37, though.
That's a good call.
He's not getting another contract.
Yeah, but baseball in 2031, 37, $20 million might be the going rate. I mean, if Yastrzemski is 2 years, $23 million, what's a 37-year-old Ketel Marte? In 2031. I mean,
So you at least have him until 2030.
that whole Yastrzemski, bring him back for a nice role, and then he goes for 2 years, 23. It's like, okay, if that's what Yastrzemski's going for, good God, can the Royals, buddy? Like, I just that's mind. If he plays for the Braves or whoever was going to sign him the way he did with the Royals, well, then yeah, I can understand that particular contract. But you're banking on that and not him being what he was with the Giants the last couple of years. But Ketel Marte is a different story to me. If he's available, then yeah, I am absolutely okay with them moving Cole Reagans. You've got 30 games, 32 games a year with Cole Reagans, but if you make the playoffs, obviously you want a frontline guy. You'd have to, go out and maybe you got to then trade for a frontline guy. And you go, well, you traded for a frontline guy. Didn't you just trade one away? Kind of like the Cowboys. Boy, it'd be nice if you can get a pass rusher. Oh, didn't you just trade one to Micah Parsons? Well, do you become better in other places? Because are you going to trade prospects for Ketel Marte? No. They need somebody who's Major League ready right now. Cole Reagans is under contract until 2028. You've got him 3 more years after this year, 26, 27, 28. He's cost control 26 and 27 with his contract. 2028 is his final year of arbitration eligibility. So there is no contract number for that. So you don't know what he's going to cost in 2028.
Sure.
But right now, this may not be max value for getting for trading Cole Reagans. But if the Diamondbacks are willing to move Ketel Marte, it's close to maybe max value for a guy like Cole Reagans, or what you may get, because next year, if you're out of it at the trade deadline, are you going to move Cole Reagans? You're going to move Bubic, something like that. But are you going to move Cole Reagans? Then you get into next year's offseason. Now you're talking about, well, Cole Reagans has 1 year of cost control and then arbitration eligible, so you get him for 2 years. The price starts going down of the value for him, because they're in the position right now with Chris Bubic where he's got 1 year of team control. And then somebody's going to have to sign him, and, Jeff Passan putting him on the list of $100 million pitchers that are going to eventually sign a contract when he's a free agent for $100 million. Now, Bubic is going to have to be healthy in 2026 for that to be the case, but if you're not going to sign Cole Reagans long term, then you're going to eventually move him. And are you going to get, if you move him closer to his free agency date, somebody that's the best offensive second baseman in baseball for, Ketel Marte, to maximize Marte, Bobby, Michael, Vinny, hopefully Kaggs, Salvi, Carter, over the next 4 or 5 years.
This would be one of the best infields in all of baseball, especially on the hitting side of things, between Bobby and Ketel. That's probably the best 1-2 second base shortstop combo in Major League Baseball. You're looking at a guy in Ketel Marte that even when he goes through slumps, gets on base. He has a walk rate of 11.5%, 84th percentile in all of baseball. He got on base at a 376 clip last year while hitting 28 home runs. Now, Cole Reagans has not been the pinnacle of health. There's always going to be injury concerns. So if it's me, I'm making this trade and not even thinking twice about it. I will also point out, Ketel Marte has not quite been the pinnacle of health on his own side of things.
He did take a vacation in the middle of the season last year, which, is something that you would have to be fully aware of what went on there, why he decided just to leave the team and not return for a few days. And would somebody like Salvi and Michael be in the clubhouse that Marte would not do that?
Sure.
If Salvi's there. And I don't know about the leadership in the clubhouse of the Diamondbacks.
So he played 137, 150, 136, and 126. You're looking at about 130 a game type of player.
130 a season.
130-ish, type of player. So, in my opinion, that's still enough. Like, you have to go in knowing he's not going to be a 162 guy. Mm-hmm. You have to know that. But still, in 126, he had 28 home runs. Like, you're talking about a middle-of-the-order bat, but I think for this team, you'd put him at leadoff. I don't even question making this move. He can play outfield, but he's been predominantly second base the majority of his career. You get into the India conversation, but India had never played outfield. At least Ketel Marte has played outfield. And he's a switch hitter, so it's not like you have to get a, is it India and Massey as a platoon? No, this guy is a switch hitter. Anyone. He hits and rakes off of anyone.
Yeah. So those are the names. Like, again, if you're talking about Jaron Duran or Brendan Donovan, no, then that's not somebody that I'm looking to move Cole Reagans for. But if you're talking about this name, where the Diamondbacks were not open previously to trade him or even take phone calls for him, and now they are, well, then one, what happened? Why are you going that route? And are they looking and saying, well, this is our best trade piece to bring back a starting pitcher to make up for, Zach Gallen and, a couple of other guys to where they were, you're not going to go into the offseason if your number one's Brandon Pfaadt. You're not, or postseason, I should say.
Sure.
You're not going to the postseason if Brandon Pfaadt's one of your frontline starting pitchers. You throw Cole Reagans there, and are the Royals in a position to where they can afford that? Do they feel like some of the guys in their pipeline are ready to take another step? Do they feel like Noah Cameron is a guy that can be closer to the 3.3 as opposed to a 4 ERA guy? Do you have anything left with Waka and Lugo? Is Lugo going to be closer to what he was in 24 or what he was too often in 2025? What's Lugo going to be moving forward? Do you get anything out of Chris Bubich? Because if you move Cole Reagans, you're not moving Chris Bubich. Do you get anything out of Chris Bubich this year, and can he stay healthy? And if he does, is he a guy that you might extend for maybe a lesser contract because of injury concerns? What his value might be on the open market, I don't know. But those are the questions you have to ask if you're going to move Cole Reagans. Can you find Ketel Marte type bat?
No.
Can you replace Cole Reagans? Also a no. But do you have enough pitching over the course of the season to get you to the postseason? It would be awesome for Cole Reagans to go out there and start game number 1 of a postseason. But he didn't start game number 1 of a postseason in 2025 because he didn't make it. And, so, a good portion of that could have been because of the injuries to the pitching staff. He did go out there in wild card game number 1 in 2024 against the Orioles and was brilliant. And it's, okay, that's why you have a Cole Reagans. That's what he offers. But that's also what other teams will be looking at as well. If they don't move Cole Reagans, I'm fine with it. But if they move Cole Reagans for Marte, definitely fine with that.
Yeah, and again, Marte, 893 OPS versus righties last year, 891 versus lefties. I mean, he is...
So he's better against righties.
He's the exact same player. His slugging was .001 points off lefties versus right. I mean, he is very consistent. And again, this is what the Royals like. They like versatility. They like switch hitters. They like athleticism. And they like a guy who doesn't strike out very much. Yeah. He for 28 home runs I said last year? 28 home runs last year. His strikeout percentage was the 85th percentile.
You put him in front of Bobby, and that lineup it changes a lot.
He struck out, let me just do some quick math, 83 times last year, which in today's day and age, striking out 83 times and walking 64 times is phenomenal. And again, we know the Royals like guys that put the ball in play.
60-walk season has happened, once in the last 4 or 5 years for the Royals?
And with that strike, I mean, again, so I'm trying to think of, is this a guy that the Royals organization would covet and target? I think the answer is clearly yes.
Well, yes, because Buster only said the Royals are one of the teams that's contacted the Diamondbacks about Ketel Marte. So then clearly the Royals are interested. And JJ can't be an idiot. He's not an idiot where he's going to call the Diamondbacks and say, hey, we're checking in on Ketel Marte. You're taking phone calls. Oh, you want Reagans? Oh, no, thank you. No, if you're checking in, you know what it's going to take to get that guy.
Yeah.
So if you're checking in, then it's, okay, what would the parameters be? Would it have to be Cole Reagans? It will. All right, thanks. Appreciate it. Now we know what it would take. We're not going to move Cole Reagans. Or it's going to take Cole Reagans. Okay, we're open to Cole Reagans, but we're not open to Cole Reagans for Marte a 1-for-1. Are you willing to throw in somebody else, a live arm down in low A, to sweeten the pot because we don't want to move Cole Reagans? Or the Diamondbacks might say, yeah, we'll take Cole Reagans, but we want a live arm down in the minors. It's not just going to be a 1-for-1. So, yeah, you're going to kick the tires. You're going to call him. You're going to see what it's going to take because that guy would do wonders for this lineup this year. I don't know, one, if they're going to move him, Where they're going to move him to, it might be a total moot point because Buster Olney's saying the Royals are interested. It might just be they're interested to see what it will cost.
Sure.
They might have heard it'll cost Cole Reagans and said, thanks, but no thanks. Because, hey, what about Noah Cameron? And they might offer, okay, what about Noah Cameron? And throw in, or you might say, what about Noah Cameron? They might say, well, what about Cole Reagans? Right, but what about Noah Cameron? What about Cole Reagans? So, yeah, I don't know what it's going to take and if it's something that the Diamondbacks would be willing to do, or are they getting calls for another pitcher out there? But I don't know which pitcher would be available that somebody would trade to get an offensive player like that. Like Skubal, it's not going to be 1-for-1. The Diamondbacks are going to have to give up a whole lot more than just Marte to get Skubal.
Correct.
So that's not a pitcher that's going to be traded there to where the Diamondbacks go, okay, well, we're not going to trade for Cole Reagans because Skubal's on the line. We got Detroit on the other line. Yeah, and what else are you going to give them? What's all in your minor league system that you're going to have to give them? You got some pieces in your minor league system with the trades that you made with Eugenio and Naylor. You got some guys there. Are you then going to give that right back up for Skubal? We don't really want to do that. Okay, great. Then that's not a guy that's going to be available for you. So what are the other pitchers on the market that might be available that would be more enticing to the Diamondbacks than Cole Reagans? Yesterday, totally fine with J.J. Piccolo saying we're willing to move some people, just not Cole Reagans. But if yesterday all of a sudden the Diamondbacks let people know that, hey, Marte's available, we're willing to move, that changes things. It changes the calculus. And I think it has to change some things from J.J. Piccolo as well in his mind of, well, let's seriously consider this now.
Especially when we have seen the Royals develop pitching and they've more or less struggled with a lot of hitters. Again, Cole Reagans was not this in Texas. I mean, it's not like Reagans has been doing this for a long, long time and he was his top prospect. No, the Royals found him. This was a trade for Aroldis Chapman, and they helped. Again, Reagans deserves a lion's share of the credit for being this guy, but the Royals identified and tinkered and helped develop him into what he has become. So then you have to say, do you trust them doing that with someone else? Because on the hitting side, we've not really seen that. So you do, in my opinion, need more fully formed hitters, and you could have more raw upside pitchers because they've shown. I mean, Ryan Bergert looked great once he got to KC.
Well, I mean, also, like, what if this ends up happening? Like, the number 6 pick in the draft may change the calculus a little bit too.
Sure.
That if you move, let's say, Cole Reagans, you go into July's draft, and you got the number 6 pick, and all of a sudden, because the top 5 teams need bats, the best college arm is there. And you're like, okay, well, this guy shouldn't be there at number 6. This guy could have gone 2 or 3, but these teams in front of us were looking for college bats or high school bats. Well, now we got this guy that can come up and help us right now. We kind of replenish the staff, and if David Shields makes his way up through the minors, then maybe he's a guy that you're not looking at next year, but you've got a lower ranked minor league system as it is right now. But there are at least potential for some players to move up, and the number 6 pick in the draft certainly helps. You know what? They should trade the number 6 pick in the draft for Marte. They should.
He's being facetious for those that are going to text and yell at him. He knows you can't trade. See, even when you make jokes like that, Jason, there's going to be at least one person that goes,
it was you.
Dumbass, you can't trade those picks.
It was you this time, Sterling. It was you. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We're hanging out at ADA. 4 days a year, they open up their doors. The doors are literally open right now. And you can stop by today, tomorrow, Saturday, and check out all of this amazing memorabilia that is here that is priced for you right now. Or you can go to like a charity auction and outbid somebody else that's willing to be, kind of maybe stupid with their money. But right here, right now, today, tomorrow, and Saturday, you get all of these cool pieces of memorabilia and an opportunity to buy and purchase as gifts for yourself, whatever it might be, centerpieces for your man cave or your room that is filled with memorabilia. There's some a lot of cool things. There's some parts that can go into a man cave, and then there are things here that can be the centerpiece of said man cave. Tonight, Noah Cameron, Royals 2025 Pitcher of the Year, 7 o'clock. Meet him, get his autograph. That is here at ADA, right across from Park Hill South High School, 635 and 9 Highway. Look for the signs. This morning when I came, you can look for the men on the roof that are doing some construction. That'll help you get here too, whatever way that you want to get here. And if you bring a non-perishable food, clothing, or personal hygiene item, you get an entry into a drawing. They're doing a drawing for 10 different signed items, so 10 different people will win. You bring that non-perishable, you are entered in the drawing. You can donate money to enter that as well, but a non-perishable food, clothing, or personal hygiene item, you are entered into that. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, continue rolling. More Zone next.
Hey, Missouri, if you've not heard by now, you are willfully trying to not pay attention to things. You are doing this on purpose because FanDuel Sportsbook is live in the Show Me State. They are kicking things off with an offer that is extremely tough to beat. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. And if you're like me, trying to follow the Sterling stamp, you've been losing. But it's okay, because overall, I'm doing very, very well because of all the extra stuff they have on FanDuel. I love FanDuel and all of their incredible rewards. Missouri, they're doing these daily drops. Today's daily drop, I have it pulled up right now. For Thursday Night Football, for Falcons Bucks, there is a 100% profit boost. All you have to do, go to FanDuel, claim now, boom, it says bonus awarded. They also do great bonuses all season long. They have a $2 million jackpot that is rocking for Thursday night touchdowns. So all these great things can be yours right there on FanDuel. So whether it's football, basketball, hockey, or more, you can bet it all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. So all that you need to do is download FanDuel today or head to FanDuel.com/Missouri to join in on all of the excitement. Because Missouri, it's time to play your game with FanDuel.
21 plus and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
Welcome to the Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB, live at ADA. Jason's out here looking at gifts. He's out here trying to purchase, steal, take, I don't know, hide the Eric Hosmer signed, him sliding into home on the Lucas Duda.
I told you I was
missed
leaving
throw.
with it, right?
He just went back and I don't know if "stole's" the right word.
No, I didn't say
but
I
it's
set it aside.
It's
I
a
set it
word.
aside. Set it aside.
He's
Set it aside.
hiding it so no one else
Set it aside.
takes.
Don't worry. I brought my wallet today. Okay, I know better. I know
Oh,
when
did you?
I know when I'm heading here to ADA. The wallet travels. Okay, and I've also got the little Apple Pay thingy. It's really
yeah.
cool. You can do that thing. Certainly, they've got new technology now where you don't even need your wallet at times.
I just write checks.
That you can't cash. Your mouth does. That's for sure.
No, I write
Am I
checks
right,
all the
Michael?
time. I'm a big check guy. Let people know I'm trying to make America more fiscally responsible.
Michael, you ever written a check before?
I have indeed.
You've written a check?
I've written multiple.
I don't believe you. I don't believe. What did you write a check for?
That I couldn't tell you.
Exactly. You're lying. Have you ever balanced a checkbook?
No, definitely haven't done that.
Do people still go to Exchange City?
Oh, I love that place.
Dude, I loved it, man. That was awesome. I got stuck being a cop. Everybody hated me.
I think I was a banker.
It sucked, man.
I was so
Cop.
corrupt.
Oh, you stepped on the grass. Here's a ticket. Shut up. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy. We are hanging out at ADA. It is right across from Park Hill South High School, where 4 days a year they open up their doors, and you can come in here and see this amazing memorabilia that they have, all of these really cool things, and things here this year that they did not have last year. These in the entire Salvi catcher's gear from July 4th, game worn. The shin guards, the chest protector, the mask, and when we got here, it's got this sign next to it that says, game issued, right? And it's got a Noah Gray jersey next to it, and the Noah Gray sleeve is blocking some of the price. So when you walked up, it had a 4 and a 0 next to it, and I'm like, oh my God, that's $40. That's a hell of a deal. Then you move the Noah Gray jersey, oh, it's $400. Then you moved it more, it's $4,000. That makes more sense. $40, I'm all in. I would have been all in. How is that still sitting there for $40? But for $4,000. By the way, Sterling, Alex said that I should do the rest of the show in the Salvi chest protector.
I would have paid $400. I was getting ready to when I got here because I was like the first one here.
Well, times that by 10 and it's yours.
And I was going to if you think of it that way,
if you give them $400 in 10 installments, it's yours.
That's it.
It's yours.
That's it.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. Can I get something else just thrown in for like a hug or something?
Can we throw in a conversation with Kent Swanson? Can we do that? Let's do it.
Fine.
Let's do it. Kent Swanson is hanging out with us. Kent, welcome into the show. What's up, brother?
I was a little curious. Were they dropping a 0 on the price of that Noah Gray jersey for every drop he had in that game at Arrowhead?
I've thought about that joke. I really did because it's game used. It's the Christmas Day game used, so that it's a road jersey. So it must be last year. But game used on Christmas Day. Ooh, that is a pretty cool one though, Kent, because on the front it's got the NFL logo with the candy canes. So that is pretty legit.
Oh, that's cool.
That is pretty cool. But yeah, I think you drop it $10 for each drop, so it's $20. It's $20 off. Is what we're going to go with. I don't think that's the case, but don't take my word for it. You're fine. Just maybe ask the people around here that know more than I do. There's a lot of people that know more than I do around Arrowhead. I know that. But Kent, it kind of feels like it's been Groundhog's Day with these conversations the last 6 weeks, 5 games. What are you taking away? What are you seeing? And we see this Texans loss, and man, it just feels like just play the song again that says we're a play here, a play there away. We're so close. We're in these games. What did you see in that loss to the Texans as to how that happened?
Yeah, if we heard the phrase, "Oh, we're close," again after that one, I think we all would have collectively lost it. I think it's the story of this team. Like, it's just the reality. They don't have enough to make those plays week in, week out to win football games the way that they used to. And they have, there's a litany of reasons that's happening, right? I think we've seen the stars of this team, the gold jacket players of this team, make some crucial mistakes in big moments multiple times that have swung how the game winds up, like the results of the game. We've pointed to drops. It turned interceptions. We've pointed to the Devin Lloyd. That's the play that's going to haunt the Chiefs for the rest of.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Is the Devin Lloyd pick? But it's just, it's key drops in the worst moments. Some questionable decision making on the one time we don't want Andy Reid to be aggressive. Just little things here or there continue to haunt this team, but that's the margin in the National Football League. And I think for Chiefs fans, we've all kind of been very dismissive of how small the margins are because of how this team has won and all the one-score games this team won last season. But these are the things that are getting you beat, and the details are getting this team beat. And the details ultimately fall on this coaching staff and the personnel there making the decision on who plays.
Is there a lesson from this season where I will say last year, maybe the lesson is the arrogance, for lack of a better term, ignorance, for lack of a better term. Last year, as the Chiefs were winning these, one-score games, And, the commentary that I continue to have was, winners find a way to get it done. This team does win close games, but, they play better when it's crunch time. They, tighten the screws and they don't commit penalties or turnovers, and they do these things and make the winning plays when it matters. And it sort of felt like last year was like, this is just a championship team. This is what championship DNA is all about. And then it's still a championship team. They're still the AFC champions, reigning, 3 years in a row, but they're not making those plays. And so is there a lesson to take away from that there is, a lot of the, whether it's luck or football bouncing in your favor, that you can have championship pedigree and be a team that just sort of, quote-unquote, knows how to win, but it doesn't change the bounce of a football going to Turpin instead of Drew Tranquill. And it doesn't change the fact that in that particular game, Kent, that Drew Tranquill was hustling over there to make the play, that had he been dogging it, he would have recovered the fumble. Like that's the irony of the whole thing, that if he was just slower to get over there, the fumble's right to him, he picks it up, and maybe he scoops and scores. But that guy works hard, damn it. Is there a lesson from last year to this year of the commentary of each?
Yeah, I think we chalked everything up to championship DNA last year, and we probably shouldn't have, right? I think, because they kept winning, but I don't think it's championship DNA that, Aiden O'Connell, fumbles the snap. That's not championship DNA. I think blocking the field goal against, that blocked field goal from the Broncos, sure.
Yeah.
Hear that one. I think last year was a lot more luck and fear than we wanted to admit in the midst of it. And probably the Chiefs too. And I think it's really tricky to, how much do we blame the Chiefs for looking at their 15-1 record, looking at how well they played in close games, seeing that they're going to theoretically have their complement of skill players back, fixing the left tackle position, and then expecting this? I think there's definitely an evolution that needs to continue, and I think we're learning that for sure. And they probably didn't evolve enough, but I think there's probably there's definitely some hindsight to some of this, right? Because I think it looked like the Chiefs were about to have the best skill group that they've had in years, and the left tackle position has been resolved in a big, meaningful way, and that should change how this team looks entirely. I think it's a tough line to try to navigate and try to figure out how much should they have been trying to change a 15-1 team that could chalk some of their lack of success in the Super Bowl after running through the entirety of the AFC to having to play a guard at tackle.
Yeah, I do wonder. I don't fault them for saying we went 15-1. And really, we went 15, 16, 17,
they went 15
and 2.
They went 15
we wanted,
2, right? I mean, but it was I always chalked it up to 15-1.
I meant 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 17-2 when they were trying to win games. So this is a team that went 17-2 in games where they were attempting to win. I understand that, okay, you didn't play well against the Eagles. I understand not going to the offseason and going, all right, we gotta tear this thing down. All right, we got to figure this thing out. We were so lucky in these games. We can't let this happen or that happen. I can understand them saying, we didn't play well against the Eagles, but this is, what we have been doing is, we find ways to win games. And Drew Tranquill said it yesterday. Yeah, yesterday was Wednesday. Drew Tranquill said it yesterday and said, maybe some of these things were happening last year, but we ended up winning. And absolutely, they were happening last year. Like Denver, we talk about that. Leo Chanel, the championship pedigree of blocking the kick. But what happened in Jacksonville this year in that final drive? Harrison Butker kicked the ball out of bounds, and Jacksonville started with the ball at the 40. Against Denver, before the blocked field goal, Butker kicked the ball out of bounds before that, but they blocked the field goal. And so we weren't talking about how do you kick the ball out of bounds when all they need is a field goal. I mean, the Chiefs were trying to run out the clock against the Raiders. All they needed was 2 yards. It was 3rd and 2, and they ran play action, and Noah Gray and Travis Kelce both missed a block, and the Raiders got to Mahomes, who threw it up deep to Xavier Worthy. He was there, but he had to throw it so early. Worthy didn't get there. It stopped the clock. If the Raiders kick a field goal, it's like you had 2 yards. Why didn't you just run it? You picked up 5. You picked up 3. You could have run it twice and won the game against the Raiders. Tampa Bay, they were trying to run out the clock so the Bucs didn't get the ball back, and Samaje Perine dropped a screen pass. That would have been a first down in the end of the game. they won in overtime. So we aren't talking about a drop screen pass. And maybe one of those that's as egregious as anything when we talk about championship pedigree, Kent, is in that Chargers game when the Chiefs banked in the field goal. They were trying to run out the clock. They had 2nd and 4, and they had a 3-yard run. And Trey Smith got into a spat and got unnecessary roughness on what should have been 3rd and 1, became 3rd and 16, and they punted. And the Chargers got a field goal, and that meant the Chiefs had to then get a field goal to go and win that game. But we didn't discuss those things because they ended up winning the game. And maybe that's where, those things get glossed over in wins, but they can't get glossed over in losses. And maybe there's more of all right, we do have to look ourselves in the mirror. 17-2 last year. It's one thing to take away from those games that we are just winners. It's another thing the very next year to not win those games and some of those same mistakes happening. We just didn't find a way for the ball to bounce in our favor.
And I think there is some legitimate regression here with some things, right? Like I do think, you look at the 2025 Chiefs, and man, it's only December 11th, and we're gonna have to eulogize and post-mortem this thing for the next month and a half.
Yeah.
More maybe, but there is regression associated with all of this too, because I think the Chiefs probably, Rashee Rice looked like one of the 5, 6, 7, 8 best receivers in football for the brief period of time that he was playing in 2024. He's been bad. He hasn't been good enough. He hasn't shown to be a reliable primary target for Patrick Mahomes this season. Key drops, struggle to separate still against man coverage, and I don't think that's going away. Maybe not seeing the field as consistently as he has in the past. Maybe not being always on the same page entirely as Patrick Mahomes in some of these games. So, his regression has been significant in the offensive side of this failure. I think Xavier Worthy too. I think Xavier Worthy hasn't developed at all, and I know that he's dealt with some ankle injuries, some shoulder injuries. But I don't know if that really matters right now. I think the development of him as a player, just the situational awareness at times, we kind of, hey, remember shucks, that rookie doesn't know where the sideline's at. He doesn't know where open field is at either. Because, sometimes he'll just forget, that he needs to run north-south and, not run to, be the fastest guy in football and run to space and not run some of these guys in space. He might score. So I think there's some regression, especially in the receiver room, that's really hampering this team's ability to kind of develop there too. It's not just that last year had flaws; it's also that this team and some players are actively worse.
Yeah, visiting with Kent Swanson, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. What do you make of what took place in that game? We mentioned Rashee Rice, that how good he looked last year, and then early this year, how good he looked in a number of games. But in this one, I think there's probably some things he would like to have back, and I'm guessing in the film room he'd like to have back because the All-22 does show him jogging at times. It shows him quitting on a route, Jesse Newell this morning on A New Day went and detailed the 4th and 1 play that was, as Garrick Dieter and Anthony Sherman called it, the play called as cherry pickers. And they've run it a number of times. They beat the Bills last year in the AFC Championship game running cherry pickers with the pass to Samaje Perine. So they've run that play before. But what Jesse Newell talked about was that Rashee Rice, his job was to be in a certain spot and to get there, which would have opened up Hollywood a little bit more, but he was slow and hesitant to do that, and then by hesitating, not only did he get in the way to, cause the traffic, it also allowed Stingley to be right on his back to be able to knock the ball away. So that's one he'd probably like to have back as well. Maybe this is just a bad game, I don't know, but it is disappointing that this was going to be one of those to where we felt like the skill position was as good as we've seen with Patrick Mahomes in a long time, and it just hasn't turned out to be that. Do you think that is a scheme thing? Is it a skill and personnel thing? Is it a coaching thing? Is it defenses having an idea of what the Chiefs do? What do you make of this, what our initial thoughts were of this skill position group to really what we've seen since they've, had to play really, much better teams and really good defenses?
I think it's a little bit of everything. And I do think the Chiefs, like just how the schedule is laid out and the timeline for the Chiefs season has really hurt them badly. Trying to play the Texans with Wanya Morris would have been a big enough challenge as it was, right? I think that there's been some bad timing.
Yeah.
I think, they really would have benefited from Rashee Rice, I don't know, the first 6 games of the season. And by the way, maybe not having Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice might have hurt them a little bit too. But at the same time, like I don't think they've played well enough, and I think there's a lot of people that own that, right? I think the development of these guys has stalled out. I think the attention to detail is not there consistently with these players, both Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy, who are the receiving room. That's really, that's just the reality of it. But I do think the play calling has gotten more predictable. I do think that that the coaching staff shares a piece of this too. Like everyone shares a piece of what's going on with this thing, and it's just up to them to have those hard conversations this offseason and remedy them, and be aggressive in fixing it. Because I don't know if you can go into next season with just Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy being your primary targets. Actually, I know you can't. They need more reliable players, but they also need those 2 players to develop too. It's a massive year for Rashee Rice in 2026 on a contract year, and what he's put out the last few weeks hasn't been consistent enough to garner what I think he's hoping for. So, and credit defenses too. But I think the predictability of the Chiefs, even though defenses are better about picking up on all these things, that falls on the coaching staff too. They've got to grow. They got to advance.
Ken Swanson is our guest. Is it fair, the criticism that's come over the last couple of weeks, and certainly this past week with the film of that Texans game, the criticism that's out there about the offense, and if it's stale, if it needs freshening up, are they doing the same thing too often, or do defenses know what they're doing? Is that fair criticism, or are we viewing that because they lost the game and they're on this sort of 1-4 that you find anything as the reason why that is? Is it fair, the questions people have about the scheme and if it needs a freshening up?
Yes, but I don't think it's quite as bad as people are making it out to be. Because I think some of the things that people are getting upset about on social media right now with this team are kind of driving me a little bit nuts. Like some of the decisions and how they protected the offensive line, which, by the way, Andy Reid and that coaching staff, whatever they're going through with the skill players, they did a masterful job with dealing with, me and
that could have been a disaster
on the offensive
Yeah,
line.
Wanya Morris going out in the first play could have been an absolute disaster for the rest of the game. And maybe one of the more disappointing parts of that game, Kent, was that the offensive line wasn't the issue. That's why they ended up losing that game.
They put together a masterful plan to slow down that group, and they deserve a ton of credit for that. But I'll see these people frustrated about all kinds of different things, formational stuff. I like that 4th and 1. People are mad about the formation on the 4th and 1. I think they could have popped. I think they wanted to try to pop a play behind. You said cherry picker to the running back. I'm assuming that means that they were going to try to get the ball to Kareem. That's kind of what I thought they were trying to do.
No, it was cherry picker to whoever's lined up in the backfield. It would have been to Hollywood, sneaking out between Jalen Moore and Caliendo.
Yeah, I think they could have hit that. I think the back crossing the field, even they might have been able to sneak something out there. Like, there's a lot of things in that play that I didn't think were egregious necessarily, and it wound up being a little bit of execution too, right? And that was the Rashee Rice part of it. There's just yes, they do some wild stuff. That wild stuff, I don't think that was the reason. Some of the crazy stuff isn't the reason that this offense is stale. Yeah. It's running mesh 86,000 times.
That's where I get frustrated.
Basing out of mesh, I think, is probably a little bit more not really having a great plan for your under center game. Period. Sprinkling it in there to keep teams honest, sprinkling in there to show it, but not having a true plan, a true logical progression off of it. Not using and leveraging play action out of under center. All of those are the things that drive me nuts a little bit more than some of these unique things. You know, I know there's I saw some frustration with Rashee Rice staying in on a key third down, but I think basically Rashee staying in. He could have been a really nice late outlet in space. Like he's essentially the check down potentially in a ton of room to run on a 3rd and 6.
Well, what was the? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go. No, well, I was just saying, if you look at the coverage, they keep Rashee Rice in, and they have a 4-strong concept, which is essentially 4 receivers to one side. Rashee Rice stays in. The corner that was over the top of Rashee Rice, you see him start looking to the 4-strong side. Well, if everything goes wrong on that play, you've got an outlet and a ton of green grass for Rashee Rice to at least get that play into a 4th and manageable, and probably get the first down. But that little play was trying to again help the offensive line. Full slide to that side, Rashee Rice helping stay in there. That is something that, again, mixing things up, throwing different things at the Houston Texans and their defensive line. The process that they went to have a masterful game plan to help Esapole or whoever was going to be at left tackle, I think those are the plays that you're seeing that were a byproduct of that. Yeah. So I don't get as upset with some of those moments, especially in the context of how well the offensive line did. But I think it's the staples that need to change for this offense.
Yeah, it's a good point about the Rashee Rice one. I hadn't seen that criticism that was there, but I mean, there's a lot of it out there. I saw the criticism I tweeted this morning. I saw the criticism that somebody had posted. Andy Reid has run the same play, 4 weeks in a row, and my first thought is so it worked 3 weeks in a row. You're pissed that he ran it a 4th time.
Look, every single team, same formation. Or different formations, different looks, same play. Every single team does that.
But how many times, Kent, have we said, well, this play seems to be working. Why don't you just keep running it? If it's working, keep running it. And then to go, well, you keep running it. Well, it worked the first 3 times. Why would you say, no, we're not going to go back to that again? So I disagree with that, criticism that's out there. The point you made about Rashee Rice is a good one because, was it the Broncos game where Kelsey stayed in? And then he hits Kelsey on a late outlet, and there was nobody there, and he ran for 25 minutes down the field, and they thought maybe he was going to score, or maybe it was a home game to the Ravens or something. I can't remember which play that was, but when you brought up the Rice play that as a late outlet could be there, that's in my mind is Kelsey, because if they don't convert that, it's like, well, why is Kelsey staying in? Why wouldn't you have somebody else chip and stay in and block? Well, that's why Kelsey was staying in. You've got your routes, and then he's a late outlet, and nobody was there to guard him. So those things, there is a method to the madness in some of those things, too, that I'm with you that maybe is over the top in some of the criticisms.
I think it's just gone a little too far, and I think we on the outside in, we all try to do our best, right, to contextualize some of the things that we're seeing, and we speak too much in definitives. But some of the logic for what these play calls were, I understand at least, right? And yes, there are things that need to change about this offense, but I think it's gone a little too extreme, and it's not a Looney Tunes offense entirely. There are some fun things that they do. There's some unique things that they do. And sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. But I think there's just – I just think they just need to find some better easy completions, some better base plays to gain more positive yards, and then they've got to find somebody that can uncover against man coverage. There's some personnel pieces of this too.
It's a good point where you said, some of those other things, but maybe some of the staples can be, switched up or changed a little bit. Yeah, I like the way you're phrasing it. The whole offense, you don't have to throw the whole offense in the fireplace. But, tweak some things here or there, freshen it up is all I'm really, asking as well. Hey, Kent, what do you make of, last one for you, I want to talk about the Chargers game now. The Chargers, they get 5 turnovers, 4. They turned them over 4 times, just 2 of them happen to be on one particular play. So they turn a team over 4 times. They win by a field goal in overtime. The Chiefs lose to the Texans, and this line opens up at 3.5, Kent. It's now 5.5 for the Chiefs. What do you have a theory or a thought behind this thing moving 2 points in favor of the Chiefs? And what do you think about this matchup with the Chargers?
Yeah, I don't know why money keeps coming in on the Chiefs. I don't get it. I don't know how you can trust this team whatsoever right now. So I don't.
So not only win, but win by 6 or more.
Yeah, it doesn't. The math ain't mathing for me at all. And I don't know what is swinging it so much. I mean, the Chargers injury report showing a little lack of health here. Maybe there's some concern about Justin Herbert's status. He didn't practice yesterday. Offensive line issues with Trey Pipkins out, and it's just looking, that's a terrible offensive line already. So maybe there's a little bit of that, but I don't know why it's swinging so far in the Chiefs' direction. So I think it's going to be a big, tall task for this team to generate offense again with the offensive line woes. Maybe they feel better that Juwan Taylor's coming back. Maybe that's why this is swinging. But if Juwan Taylor doesn't play, Esapole and Jalen Moore are in for a very difficult challenge as the tape comes out on all the things that the Chiefs did to protect them last week. And that's why I think this next 4 weeks is going to be an absolute slog with the offensive line if they're not healthy.
Yeah. Do you have a score in mind for what will happen on Sunday?
Screw it. We're picking the Chiefs to win. All of that, right?
I wrote down screw it. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, it's effectively draft season if the Chiefs lose.
For sure.
I think they'll pull it. I don't know why, because they've failed 4 of the last 5 games that they've needed to win. But I'm picking the Chiefs to win. I think they turn the Chargers over a little bit here. And I think those turnovers are enough to help the Chiefs keep the offense for the Chargers at bay. I think they do a better job handling the quick passing game, which destroyed them last time around. And I think the Chiefs are winning 21-14.
21-14. There you go. Last one, simple yes or no. Next time we talk, we'll be heading into the Broncos game. Does that game mean anything when we talk?
Does the Broncos game mean anything? No.
That's the next time we'll talk, because next week before the Titans, it's going to be a conversation with Matt Lane. That'll be a conversation with me and for the Chiefs, not just the Broncos.
I'm changing my mind. It matters. It matters.
Okay. All right.
I don't trust the Chiefs, but I'm picking them to win this week. And if they win this week, they're beating the Titans. And that game matters.
All right, there we go. Kent, you're the man. Appreciate it, brother. Enjoy the football. We will talk in a couple of weeks, man. Thank you so much.
Sounds good.
There's Kent Swanson, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. Love the conversations with Kent. Really good stuff there. And I love the way that he phrased it. I didn't write it down. I should have. But in talking about some of the criticisms that have gone a little bit too far, and I agree. I think what I have said is, I feel like it needs to be freshened up. Maybe take a shower. Maybe throw on some cologne or something. Just put some deodorant on from time to time. They can smell you coming a mile away. I knew it was you. I could smell you getting off the elevator. The way that he phrased it is, some of those things are there, but maybe the staples, could be, switched up, or is it like running mesh constantly? Maybe you don't do that just because there's man-to-man, let's run mesh. It sounds, sometimes simplistic, and that's what I'm nobody over here is saying fire Andy Reid. Nobody over here is saying that Andy Reid is a dunce, but if there seems to be an expectation that the defense knows what you're doing, or the defense is expecting a certain thing and they're getting it, then I think there is, at that point, a legitimate and fair conversation about what's going on behind the scenes, and do you have to then look at yourself in the mirror. We'll take a time out, come back. We're hanging out at ADA. 4 days a year you can get this awesome, awesome stuff, and we are here for one of those 4 days, tomorrow and Saturday, the last couple. More Zone coming up next. All right. right, man, if you're out there and you are in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and you don't feel the same way that you did earlier in your life, well, Heartland Men's Health can help. You know, guys in their early to mid-30s start losing 2 to 3% of their testosterone production every single year. It happens gradually. Before you know it, you don't feel like the same man that you did when you were in your 20s or 30s. Look, it is the holiday time. That means there's going to be moving around. There's Christmas shopping. There's, family time. There's a lot of scheduling. You need some energy. You need some of that, testosterone maybe that you don't have anymore that you had back in the day. Look, do yourself a favor. Give yourself a gift, and that would be going to Heartland Men's Health to take the low T quiz, but also just simply schedule a consult with Heartland Men's Health. They'll do your lab work with you, have your results within 30 minutes, and then a licensed medical provider will review the results with you, discuss your options, help you make the decision together with the medical team. Cost of that appointment, it's $99. That includes that medical consult, the T, and that PSA test that we talk about all the time for men that you need to go and get that checked out. And if you sign up for testosterone treatment the day of your appointment, your visit's free. You don't pay a dime. There you go. You can also get back to higher energy levels. Maybe you're going to the gym, you get better gains in the gym. Maybe you just don't have the motivation to go to the gym. That can help as well. No more brain fog. That was something that I was dealing with. Didn't even know what it was. Now I know what it was, and now I know it's a thing of the past with Heartland Men's Health. They have been successfully treating men in the Kansas City area. 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Independence between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and North Kansas City. Call them today, 844-447-6600. Tell them you heard about it right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com. All right, we continue hanging out here at ADA, right across from Park Hill South High School. Fantastic spot. One of our favorite remotes every single year that we get to do. They open up the doors 4 days a year, and they allow you to come in and check out all of this amazing stuff, this amazing memorabilia that is here, that only 4 days a year that you can come in and check that out. And they got all this really cool stuff, all the Salvi stuff that they got here, game-worn stuff, July 4th Salvi chest protector, the shin guards, unreal. Cleats, I mean, good God, man, that's unreal. The game-worn batting gloves, by the way. Did you see those?
Yeah.
Game-worn batting gloves for Salvador Perez. That would be pretty awesome, man. A bunch of Salvi stuff here that you can get, and game-used bats over there. They got like 6 of them hanging on the wall right now. Those things are awesome. You get the pine tar and everything. That you can get an unused bat, right? Fresh bat that he signs. That's pretty awesome to have.
Sure.
But you put that one up in your man cave with the pine tar and dude, that's phenomenal, man.
It's electric. I mean, you're looking at it.
You want the Rawlings or you want the Victus?
Rawlings.
Okay.
What I do,
you know, Victus makes the pencil bats for the kids.
I'm not a kid though.
Also the crayon. Well, you've seen the players use the crayons and the.
Sure.
It's Victus. So they're Victus guys.
I love the Jorge Soler one. That one stands out to me. Just
Which one is
bat
Soler?
wrap,
It's
the
the one,
maroon.
the slugger.
Yeah. I
Okay.
love that bat. It's a gorgeous looking bat. But the Billy Butler one really stands out because it's a broken one, and I actually
Ooh.
love.
Is that a double play? I'm just joking. I'm just joking. That was uncalled for. Uncalled for. What would have to be in my house though, and this is where if I purchase something, I could get away with it in my house, like the George Brett one, because it's Louisville Slugger. So if I bring it in the house and my wife goes, "You paid what?" I go, "Honey, look, Louisville Slugger right there. You know, right in your backyard, Louisville Slugger. It's right there." And not just the cool logo of the LS, which is also, you know, Lee Summit. That's pretty cool. But it looks too much like Lee Summit High School, so maybe back off a little bit. But that Louisville Slugger, the fire in the grain right there.
Yeah.
And then the little brown around it is oh man, it's beautiful, beautiful. But it says Louisville Slugger. Rawlings, I don't know that I can get away with it. Victus, not sure. Bring the Louisville Slugger, put that on the wall, a little bit different. A little bit different in the household. Anderson household might be able to get away with that. Sterling is hanging out with us here at ADA, as you would expect him to do.
I'd expect me.
Yes.
Well, the first segment we didn't know. We had some
good call.
technical.
It was a little marginal.
It was marginal. wouldn't you
Marginal
say?
at that time with your age. How about Kent Swanson calling for Andy Reid to be fired?
Yeah, you said that, and
Joking, everybody. I'm joking.
I was
it's an Ed Orgeron. That's a joke. Just joking on that one right there.
I was laughing. So full transparency, I'm trying to go to 1587 tonight, and so I was working on the reservation. I have the reservation now. I'm just trying to see who's gonna join because
I'm out.
I've had a lot of people back out already.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, because I can afford the Salvi chest protector and the gear. I can get the Salvi stuff or a steak at 1587. I think I know what I would choose.
Oh, of course, but I'm an experienced guy. I want to experience.
Okay, there
My
you go.
friend gave me his reservation. He's like, hey,
Did he
dog,
give you also
I can't
some
go.
free gear?
No, he didn't. But I just want to.
Okay, there you
I
go.
wouldn't mind checking
Yeah.
it out. And so I'm working on
Yep.
who's going to join.
All right. We need to take a time out. We'll come back. We'll hear from the Kansas City Chiefs on the other side of the break. It's Coordinator Day and Chris Jones. More Zone next.